Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Speaking of the memberships and the updates, yesterday and today we posted many updates because the market was finally doing something. So if you want to know what's going on in the market and if you don't want to wait for these updates, then definitely check out the silver memberships. There are only 36 memberships left, and once this sells out, just like the bronze membership, it will never be available again. So if you don't want to pay $18 for the membership, then make sure to grab this while you still can. And now let's finally talk about the ADA chart. So we are still in a third wave move up. This third wave seems to be overextending quite a lot. Of course, at some point I am expecting a fourth wave move down, and I will make sure to update the support zone for it if we do go higher. There are other levels for the third wave. I mean, we have the 2.272 resistance level or the 2618, even the 300% extension, so we could overextend quite a lot just because this is a third wave. But keep in mind, on the 4-hour RSI, the RSI is extremely overbought, and I always tell you this when something like this happens, we need corrections. The charts cannot go up in a straight line. So if we get a very fast one right now, support is between 63.4 cents and 61.4 cents for the fourth wave, but again, we could overextend, and right now we are even above the bull market support band, which is a good sign. But at least in my opinion, we might get rejected by it maybe once just to, test the support level for the fourth wave. And once we get the fourth wave, I will also be able to give you a target zone for the fifth wave up there. By the way, I have a new target zone for the third wave. I did not talk about this. I only mentioned this on the Discord server, but basically I had the 1618 of this one to set up on the chart yesterday, and we got way above that, and I decided to actually give you the 200% and the 1618 resistance level of the one to set up here rather than the other one to set up because, well, this was a target zone for the C wave, and we even got above that. I mean, the 1618 for the C wave, I think, was at about, let's see, let me actually say this real quick, it was at 66.4 cents, and we went way higher than that. So yeah, the third wave could be done at any moment. We don't really need this to overextend anymore, but if it does, it's okay. And we have another target. This is the red line over here. It's at 73.2 cents. Breaking above this would be bullish because we will break out of the downtrend. Now, of course, we have already broken out of the downtrend. We got above this high right here and even above this high and this high, so I don't think we're getting another low. I even got rid of the other support level at 45 cents because usually when something like this happens, that's when the market is getting ready to finally go up. Speaking of that, if we look at the bull market support band, we do not have a cross yet. However, this move that we are getting right now might get us a cross on the bull market support band in, I don't know, maybe like 1 week, 2 weeks, hopefully not 3 weeks, but it could take that long. And of course, we could continue going up until we get the cross. I mean, we have seen that happen in the previous cycle. I think if you look over here, we had a cross on the bull market support band, and when we had the cross, Cardano was already above the bull market support band. So, I mean, this structure is starting to look extremely similar to what we had over here. It's not the exact same thing, but yeah, it's pretty, similar looking. So right now we are waiting for that cross, and we are also waiting to form a 5-wave move to the upside. And yeah, after we get the fourth wave, we will need the fifth wave. I will give you a target for that. That's going to complete a much bigger first wave. Then I'm expecting an ABC to the downside for the second wave move down, so I will give you a support zone for that as well. I don't want to give you one right now because we don't even have the top of the third wave, but after we get the ABC down, we are expecting a third wave of this much bigger one to set up. It could get above these highs right here, maybe, depends on how high the first wave will go. Then we'll need a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up, and once we get these 5 waves, I will finally be able to confirm that this low is in and that we are heading in the third wave of the third wave up here. And I actually have to push this a little bit to the left, so the target for the third wave of the third wave is still $3.50. And I know people are calling my targets unrealistic, but these people that kept being bearish in the last couple of months are nowhere to be seen right now. because, well, first of all, I blocked all of them from the channel, and second of all, the price is going up, and these people only show up when the price goes down, because these are the kind of people who buy at the top and then they sell at the bottom. And yeah, of course, I told you this multiple times, but we need losers and we need winners, and hopefully the people who are watching these videos are the winners and not the losers. And yeah, let's take a look at the daily chart right now. If you take a look at the RSI, we are almost overbought, which is not really a bad sign, but again, we could get a reaction to the overbought territory, and if we do, we could get another correction, which would be okay because we do need a fourth wave move down. And yeah, other targets, I mean, we already got above the bull market support band, so next what we need to do is get above the 200-day moving average, and that is at 75 cents. And if we get above that, I would like to see a test of the 200-day moving average, because in the past we actually got rejected by it a bunch of times. Here, when we tried going up, we actually got rejected, and after that we formed another low in the second wave, so it's important to get above it right now. And yeah, that's it about the daily. Now let's go on the weekly. On the weekly, it's also looking extremely bullish. Here, as you can see on the RSI, we broke above the moving average there, and I think at some point, maybe in the next couple of weeks, if we stay above it, we are most likely going to test it like we did over here in November. So yeah, after we do that, we are hopefully gonna start a third wave of the third wave, which is the third wave of the much bigger 1-2-1-2 setup here. You already know the story. If you are new to the channel, then you have a lot to catch up on, because, well, there's a lot to know and I'm not gonna be able to explain everything in this video, but I will try. And next we have the monthly chart. Here we also got above the moving average on the RSI. This is also an extremely good sign. So we could have a very bullish July if this continues like this. And yeah, I would not be shocked if we got to all-time highs, you know, in the next couple of months. Of course, until we do that, Bitcoin dominance still has to break down. And right now it is not really breaking down too much. It's still at 64.8%. So we are not in an altcoin season. The prices are only going up because Bitcoin and Ethereum are going up. And this should not be a shock to any old viewers. I mean, if you have been watching this channel for longer than a couple of weeks, you would know that the pattern on the Bitcoin chart is the exact same pattern every single year. I mean, here we went down to 25k, then we went down to 50k, then we went down to 75k. Next up, we will most likely drop to 100k over here, but only after we go up for about 6 months, because that's what we did over here. We went up for 6 months. Here we went up for 6 months. Right now, we will most likely continue going up for another 6 months. So after that low 6 months, it's gonna be in like September. We might continue getting all-time highs until September. And we are still trying to complete the much bigger third wave over here. As you can see, we are actually approaching a big resistance level, and, well, obviously Bitcoin is at all-time highs right now, and this is not a shock to me because I've been talking about this for many months, ever since we were down here. I was even making videos when we were down here in September of 2024, and I told you the structure is the exact same, and I also told you the cross on the bull market support band is extremely bullish, and what we did over here always happened in the past. We went above the bull market support band, and then we did absolutely nothing for a couple of weeks, just like over here, and just like in the 2023 year as well. We just got above the bull market support band, and then we did absolutely nothing, and then we started going up. So it's the exact same setup every single time. And yeah, like I said, we're approaching resistance at $120,000. And if we get above that, the next target for the third wave is the 0.786 resistance level, which is at $137,000, but it could even overextend above that, maybe to $162,000. And like I said on the weekly chart, I'm expecting this next low to be at about $100,000. If we want that to happen, and if we want to continue this pattern, then Bitcoin has to go down about 30% from these highs. And to drop to 100k and go down like 30%, Bitcoin would have to go to about $140,000, so maybe even more than that, so be aware of that. Now on the Bitcoin chart, we are in a triangle on the RSI, and we need to get above this if we want to go higher. So if we do not get above this, we could face resistance here and we could get rejected, so keep that in mind. And yeah, my predictions for Bitcoin are still $250,000 by the end of the year. That never really changed. That has been my prediction ever since we were down here at 49K. People called me crazy, but I think it's possible. And speaking of crazy predictions that nobody believed, I think Ethereum will most likely get to $6,400. And I've been saying this ever since we were down here at $1,300. I've always talked about the RSI, and I've always talked about how this move over here looks very similar to what we had in the past in the bear markets, and I told you this is good. I also told you we bounced off the moving average on the weekly RSI, and we are in a 1-2 setup here. We are waiting for the third wave right now, and this could be the start of the third wave. The target for that is $4,500. And I'm expecting, like I said, Ethereum to top in this region between $6,400 and $12,000. I'm not surprised by any of this, but if you are, then you have probably not been paying attention. Also, on the ADA Bitcoin chart, this looks like a bottom to me, to be honest, but right now we need to test the moving average on the RSI on the weekly. If we get above that, it could be an extremely good sign because we have been below the moving average here ever since January, so getting above it could be extremely bullish and we could finally start the third wave up there. And even here, the setup is the exact same, and yeah, people are somehow surprised. Even on the ADA dominance chart, it's the exact same pattern, and right now we are waiting to get above the moving average here on the weekly as well. That's it about that. Now let's go to the ADA chart, and well, not much else to know, to be honest, but if you want something else to know is that the S&P 500, as you can see, it's at all-time highs. And I told you this on the Discord server a couple of weeks ago, and I even told you this in the videos, but if the S&P 500 goes up, that's when Bitcoin usually goes up as well. And what do you think happened? Here the S&P 500 went up, it broke above its previous all-time highs, and right now what is Bitcoin doing? It's breaking above its previous all-time highs, just like the S&P 500 is. And if the S&P 500 shows us anything, is that we might still continue going up just because we got to the oversold territory on the weekly RSI. And I told you this back in March, but it could be a very good sign because this only happened a couple of times in the last 15 years. Matter of fact, it happened 4 times in the last, well, actually it happened 5 times in the last 17 years. So this is a very good sign, and this was a bottom. I think we're going higher, and I think Bitcoin will still go higher. My prediction for this cycle for Cardano is still between $5 to $8. That has always been my prediction, and yeah, I'm not shocked by any of this, but we're still waiting for dominance, for Bitcoin dominance to go down, and until that happens, we're not really gonna see anything. But we are on the good, side of crypto right now because, well, usually the altcoin season only starts after Bitcoin breaks above its all-time highs, and it only starts when Bitcoin goes up. I showed you this example a couple of days ago, I think. Here, the altcoin season pretty much started when Bitcoin was around this area at about, let's see, $27,000. And yeah, that's what we're waiting for right now as well. We're waiting for the dominance to start dropping, and we're waiting for Ethereum to finally start doing something. We are already getting a pump, so this is good, but it's not enough, and we obviously need to go higher. But yeah, it's still looking good. Of course, I keep telling you this in every single video, and people do not want to believe me, but the market right now is finally starting to reverse. And of course, we will get corrections on the way, but that's part of the crypto game. And if you are not ready for that, then I told you this many times, but you should get out of the market, because if you want to make money, you should not invest with your emotions. You should invest with the knowledge you have. And if you don't have any knowledge, then you might as well not invest anything, because you're going to lose money. So I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, check out the YouTube memberships and the Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $12 a month right now. There are only 36 memberships left, so if you want to, pay less right now, then yeah, check out the memberships, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.